In the world of martial arts, there are 5 great names known as the 5 Great Masters. They are legendary figures whose stories would become famous in Jianghu history. Eastern Heretic Huang Yaoshi, Western Venom Ouyang Feng, Southern Emperor Duanji Sing, Northern Beggar Hong Qigong, and the tournament leader Wang Changyang. These 5 figures would one day clash in one of the most iconic moments in Wuxia history, the duel on Mount Hua. But every legend has an origin. Before the world knew their names, before they became myths in the tales of the legend of the Condor Heroes, they were wanderers, fighters, and dreamers, carving their own paths through chaos. This is the story that has never been fully told. The prequel to the legends. The series that dares to explore who they were and what shaped them into the great masters we know today. This is what Tencent's latest series, Duel on Mount Hua, presents. An ambitious project that chronicles the origins of 5 great masters before their historic encounter. And in this section, we'll delve into the journeys of 2 of the most eccentric figures, Eastern Heretic Huang Yaoshi, a free-spirited genius who defies all rules, and Western Venom Ouyang Feng, a poisonous warrior with an unpredictable outlook. This is their story, Eastern Heretic and Western Venom. Our tale begins. On a stormy night in Bashu, a heated argument breaks out inside a small inn. Tai Sen of the Chai family clashes with 2 men from Zi Jin Hall, Liu Tianshui and Liu Baogen, over the decades-old peace treaty and the Northern Expedition. What starts as a debate quickly turns violent. Shortly after, Ouyang Feng, the eccentric second young master of White Camel Mountain, arrives with his 2 servants, Lai Wei and Zhao Wei, seeking shelter from the rain. They are met with hostility and told there are no rooms left, but Ouyang, unfazed, insists on staying. However, the men who quarreled ordered him out because they were about to fight. The fight ended quickly, with all 3 men dead. The fighting guests were all dead, leaving room for Ouyang Feng and his men to rest. By dawn, the authorities arrive and discover the bodies. Believing Ouyang and his companions are responsible for the killings, they arrest them and accuse them of murdering members of Zi Jin Hall and the Chai family. Despite his protests, Ouyang is dragged into a political mess. Through interrogation, it becomes clear that the deaths stemmed from an argument over the Northern Expedition and peace negotiations, long-standing issues that still divide Jianghu. But for the local officials, none of that matters. 3 people are dead, and these outsiders are the easiest ones to blame. Believing they had committed no crime, Ouyang Feng's men fought back and easily overpowered the security forces. They then fled the scene without resistance from the security forces, who were terrified by their prowess. However, even though it was clear that Ouyang Feng was not the perpetrator of the murder, the security chief still ordered his men to report to the headquarters in Guizhou to arrest Ouyang Feng. Elsewhere, on a mountain trail, Feng Yulan, recently appointed magistrate of Bashu, travels with her daughter, Feng Heng. Riding wary mules down a steep path, they encounter Hu Baili and his men, members of the Salt Gang, a powerful smuggling syndicate operating in various regions, including Jin, Liao, and Dali. What begins as a polite conversation suddenly turns ugly. Hu Baili reveals his identity and accuses Yulan of betraying his adoptive uncle, the leader of the illegal salt trade in Huainan, whom Yulan helped to overthrow. Feng Yulan realizes too late that this encounter was no coincidence. It was an ambush. Resigned to her fate, Feng Yulan speaks to her daughter one last time, expressing her regret, not about dying, but about missing out on another delicious drink. She urges Feng Heng to live on, reminding him that serving the court and upholding the law is their duty, even at great personal sacrifice. The Salt Gang attacks, and Feng Yulan is killed. Feng Heng was devastated by her father's sudden death. Terrified as the Salt Gang closed in to kill her, she found herself cornered at the edge of a cliff. With no other way out, she made a desperate choice and hurled herself into the depths below. The attackers thought he was dead, but their leader, Hu Baili, ordered them to climb down the cliff to confirm Feng Heng's death. However, Feng Heng, who had fallen onto a large rock, miraculously survived the fall. He was crushed and nearly killed. He saw someone inside the cave, Huang Yaoshi, the Eastern Heretic, but she couldn't scream for help. As Hu Baili's men approached, Feng Heng fell again, this time to the bottom of the cliff. Seeing this, Hu Baili's men believed Feng Heng was definitely dead. They decided to return to the top. Hu Baili received a report that Feng Heng had died, but he didn't believe it because he didn't see Feng Heng's body. Hu Baili eventually went down himself to search for Feng Heng's body. He wanted to ensure there were no living witnesses to the murder of Magistrate Feng Yulan. Instead of finding Feng Heng, he encountered Ouyang Feng and asked if he had seen the body of a girl who had fallen from above. Ouyang Feng, unaware of this, attempted to hire Hu Baili as a guide to Linan. Hu Baili was offended by Ouyang Feng's remarks. The encounter quickly turned hostile as tensions escalated between Hu Baili and Ouyang's men. Hu Baili arrogantly revealed that the Salt Gang were wealthy smugglers with extensive connections, dealing with territories as far away as Jin, Liao, Tibet, and Dali. They were ruthless in protecting their business interests, unafraid of clashes with outsiders. A fight ensued, and Ouyang Feng's men were poisoned by Hu Baili's sword. Hu Baili himself quickly left after learning of Ouyang Feng's prowess. He warned arrogantly that he would return with more reinforcements to face Ouyang Feng. Ouyang Feng struggled to comprehend the violence he encountered on his journey through the south, a land long regarded as civilized and refined. Resolving to avoid further trouble, he instructed his men to exercise greater caution along the way. Meanwhile, Huang Yaoshi, having finished his meditation, remembered the girl who had fallen near his hiding place. Curiosity and a slight sense of responsibility led him to discover her fate. After completing his meditation, Huang Yaoshi descended the hillside and found Feng Heng's battered and shattered body. Huang decided to treat Feng Heng as a favor for distracting him by falling down so the Salt Gang's men wouldn't disturb his meditation. He administered the rare and highly toxic 9-yin limb pill, a potent elixir capable of rapidly regenerating bones and flesh, although it also drastically reduced one's lifespan. He then carefully realigned Feng Heng's shattered bones and stabilized his condition. After the treatment was complete, Huang left Feng Heng alone. True to his eccentric nature, Huang Yaoshi felt no need to concern himself with what might become of the girl once he had done his part. To him, saving her life was enough. What happened afterward was no longer his responsibility.
This earned him the nickname the Eastern Heretic.
Shortly afterward, Hu Baili and his men arrived. They were shocked to find Feng Heng still alive, with numerous dead ants on his body. Hu Baili held a flower to Feng Heng's nose and was shocked again to see that it had dried up. His men were about to kill Feng Heng, but Hu Baili quickly intervened when he discovered that Feng Heng had regained consciousness and was even able to move and walk. This strangeness made Hu Baili decide to take Feng Heng alive so he could study her and cure his disabled father.
In Kuaizhou Prefecture, Ouyang Feng and his 2 followers finally arrived. The bustling city impressed Ouyang, who even compared it to Lenan, imagining that the latter must be even more magnificent. Although advised to leave the city quickly, Ouyang insisted on stopping to dine at a local tavern. There, he encountered Huang Yaoshi. The two quickly engaged in light conversation, getting acquainted with each other. Ouyang expressed his intention to travel to Lenan and even offered to pay Huang to accompany him as a guide. Huang responded only with a faint smile. Meanwhile, outside, several members of the Salt Gang were seen heading to the restaurant where Ouyang Feng and Huang Yaoshi were. The calm atmosphere soon shattered when Shi Qi, a member of the Kegsu branch of the Salt Gang, arrived at the tavern with several men. They had poisoned the wine ordered by Ouyang, successfully causing his 2 followers to collapse from the toxin. Shi Qi revealed that he had been ordered by Hu Baili to kill Ouyang Feng. A fierce fight broke out. Ouyang's poisoned followers staggered during the clash, fueling Ouyang's rage. Enraged, he unleashed his full strength, brutally overpowering the Salt Gang members. Realizing Ouyang's formidable skills, Shu Qi attempted to flee, but Ouyang quickly captured him. Just as Ouyang was about to kill Shu Qi, Kuaizhou soldiers stormed the tavern, surrounding them. They accused Ouyang of the Baoxian County murders and arrested him on the spot. Ouyang Feng protested being accused of murder. He was ordered to explain his case in court-martial. Before being taken away by the Kuaizhou military, Ouyang Feng reminded Huang Yaoshi to retrieve the gold on the table and to meet him the next morning. Meanwhile, Shi Qi and his gang returned to the restaurant and took Ouyang Feng's belongings, including a painting of a woman who was Ouyang Feng's intended bride. Huang Yaoshi, despite knowing this, ignored the incident, wanting to avoid interfering. He simply took the gold from Ouyang Feng and then gave it to the restaurant owner to replace the furniture damaged in the previous fight. Meanwhile, in Salt Gang, Hu Baili's men were busily engaged in their routine work of processing and molding salt. At the Salt Gang, Hu Baili discovered that Feng Heng was still alive and now unable to move after falling off a cliff. He was surprised by Feng Heng's condition and suspected some kind of potion or mystical method had allowed her to survive. Hu Baili then decided to take Feng Heng to his father, Hai Kan Chao, the leader of the Salt Gang, to examine her. However, before this plan could be realized, Huang Yaoshi appeared He had come to retrieve Ouyang Feng's belongings, which the Salt Gang had taken from the restaurant. Huang Yaoshi did this because he remembered that he would be traveling with Ouyang Feng to Linan the next day. Huang demanded that Ouyang Feng's bag be given to him. Hu Baili and his men refused and challenged Huang Yaoshi to a fight.
Huang refused, but forced to do so, and a fight ensued. Using his extraordinary skills, Huang Yaoshi managed to kill Hu Baili and defeat his men. After taking the bag, he left, leaving a mess in the area. Before his death, Hu Baili instructed Shi Qi to take Feng Heng to their headquarters.
Thus ends the first chapter of this tale. A night soaked in blood, a desperate leap into the unknown, and an encounter between two of Jianghu's most enigmatic figures. But this is only the beginning. As Ouyang Feng faces captivity, Feng Heng awakens to a new and uncertain fate, and Huang Yaoshi walks his solitary path. The web of intrigue in Kuaizhou tightens. In Episode 2, alliances will be tested. Enemies will draw closer. And the true stakes of this journey into the heart of the martial world will begin to reveal themselves. The path ahead leads deeper into Jianghu, and there is no turning back. That's the end of Episode 1's recap. If you enjoyed diving into the world of Eastern Heretic and Western Venom, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss our recap of the next episode. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to join us as we continue exploring the twists, rivalries, and legendary encounters of Jianghu. See you in Episode 2?